The seal says, a key for the exit you'll need. Grunger the jailer you must feed. His old mum tasty gruel must make. With added snot he won't awake. The seal says, this here is a map you hold. What else you need to be told? Fast travel would be its use. Its contents you should peruse. The seal says, a grease most foul will dry the torch. Once lit it's all ready to scorch. There's ropes holding cages up high. Burn them for freedom to say hi. The seal says, seek a bottle empty. You need snot aplenty. At Grunger you must look and grab it from that crook. The seal says, cranny some liquor desires. Stealing a flask it requires. With sewer water it'll fill. A worm inside it must chill. The seal says, must get ingredients for the brew. Dead meat from a prisoner will do. Liquor flowing with a worm will too. Then a skull to pour it all into. The seal says, you now possess the sleeping potion. Drugging Grunger would be the notion. Then steal the key and open the door. You really need to be told more? The seal says, Grunger's key is now in your hand. In the exit door it must land. A water-filled room you must find. Downward path the door lies behind. The seal says, lots of steps reaching the exit will need. Big hungry beasts on 3 femurs must feed. For Arak's a meal from a glass-fed fly. Gaiter and spear on doors you must apply. The seal says, a wooden bridge stands rotten apart. Covering with a lid would be smart. The seal says, look closely at a sewer grate. You'll need it to open a gate. Near 3 beasts the sewer grate lies. A loose metal bar will be your prize. The seal says, coffins have key items for you to take. So in kleptomania you must partake. Go grab 3 bones and a glass eye from one. Then an eye patch and wheel to be done. The seal says, a jar on Onegus's table. Grabbing a grub will enable. Wool from the jar must calm the bug. Chloroform will be the right drug. The seal says, stone guardian's a barrier to break. Need warrior's soul for the passage's sake. Blend of saffron and water you shall make. Then swap the real deal with this green fake. The seal says, saffron in a vial must chill. Glass jar with chloroform you'll fill. The eyeglass? It's useless, my dear. Even if the damn thing's still here. The seal says, a corpse in a coffin hides 3 bones. Deliver to dogs to end their moans. The seal says, while the head is rotten and old, its cavity secrets may hold. Look there closely for your own sake. Reach in and a treasure you'll take. The seal says, locked gate with a metal plate on its side. To open a crank must be applied. Grab a metal bar from a sewer grate. A ship's wheel will be its cranky mate. The seal says, using action is where it's at. It really is as simple as that. The seal says, Onegus a lost item seeks. Of a bottled soul this man speaks. Find a coffin behind a gate. There the bottle awaits its fate. The seal says, Arak will help for but one request. A crunchy meal for him to digest. Let a grub eat the arena's orb. For its meek form a fly shall absorb. The seal says, push statue a gold trophy will net. With oil from an urn it must get wet. Oil the hole and its cogs quite rusty. Pull the chain to raise the gate dusty. The seal says, Raven pesters you with endless chatter. A slingshot you need to make it scatter. An eye patch and glass shall mix tonight. Together they will end the raven's flight. The seal says, to capture this here beast most unkind, a bird cage is your answer to find. Gather some sawdust from an urn deep. Toss into cage for a lure quite cheap. The seal says, a dark stairway you must seek. Then to the left go and peek. A curtain hangs on a wall. Onto the cage it must fall. The seal says, beast in a cage you shall trap, and with a cloth promptly wrap. For the curtain from stairs steep shall send the beast into sleep. The seal says, bring a trap that contains a beast. At doors of destiny it'll feast. Seek the one door that's made of wood. Let the freak have a meal most good. The seal says, an empty vial lies in a room filled with flies. That same room has a sink. Button will give blue drink. The seal says, the metal spear a door barricade will make. It's at the arena for you to take. The seal says, at the arena roams a glass fly. A familiar jar you must apply. The seal says, just grab it into the jar. Surely you can think that far. The seal says, some clues may lie inside. Read it you should decide. The seal says, Arak gave you his fingernail. A door with it you should impale. But hold on, where could the door be? Oh, right where Arak was, you see. The seal says, New use for this you shall soon find, but for now just keep it in mind. The seal says, 2 metal doors, both closed so tightly. Press right here, one opens slightly. Block other with spear, close the first, and with that the exit shall burst. The seal says, why use me? The exit stands open. Is your mind really that broken? Gee, thanks for the hint. The seal says, 3 vents must be opened to proceed. Prisoner from the swamps must be freed. 3 different shackles keep him chained. A tool for each one must be obtained. The seal says, the keeper's here. A gift he brings. 2 dice. Wow, loaded are these things. On same numbers they land. A hint. For what? A vent that'll make you squint. The seal says, move away. No use for this yet. Prisoners' help answer will net. In swamps they wait. Many their binds. For each removed, hints are your finds. The seal says, prisoner silenced with a metal snare. Fingernail is the tool to repair. The seal says, Quagmire dropped a jaw clamp. You must have it, my good champ. A blind mode the jaw clamp hides. Action the answer provides. The seal says, dagger from Nilmates you must receive. Where is he? Out in the swamps, I believe. On a library table some wood lies. Carving it into a flute would be wise. The seal says, opposite of 6 with 3, he said. Got some dice? Then the answer's ahead. Action will bring answer to the vent. Look closely at what the dice present. The seal says, a worried man is blocking your path, for stepping anywhere yields his wrath. To make him yield, a tactic severe. Blind with a clamp, his draw is dear. The seal says, manacles are holding you down. A monster in ink you must drown. Pen nib is what'll open the lock. A riddle for you is in stock. The seal says, to fill the pen you'll need an ink pot. Worrymeister's drawer would be the spot. The seal says, pump room's gate is being held shut. Who got the key? Monster, that's what. Squirt some ink to remove that pest. Then claim the key, you'll know the rest. The seal says, metal ball is chained to Quagmire's feet. An appropriate tool it must meet. Metal cutters hides the ferryman. Seeking his office would be the plan. The seal says, add it all up, the riddle said. Counting the letters lies ahead. 2 digits is what you will get, and that's the code you need, I bet. The seal says, in 2 rooms the flute you shall play. Guide the metal ball along the way. Chain must choke the ferryman's throat. Control box will ready the boat. The seal says, a bunch of rats surround their lady, who'll offer help for some hooch shady. Ferryman got a bar in the back. Into a bottle liquor you'll pack. The seal says, big round key you must get. Quagmire has one, I bet. Cut off his metal ball. Key to the vent, then haul. The seal says, once the prisoner's ball is free, rats'll bring it to pump room with glee. With a mighty hammer in hand, valve will make steam yours to command. The seal says, at the library a hammer awaits. A great opportunity it creates. The seal says, a devious monster roams this town, eating people's souls all around. For now, to the inn you must go. Head on forward through the strange snow. The seal says, evidence for the investigation. By itself it has no application. Holding on to it I would recommend. Its purpose will be revealed at the end. The seal says, a beggar down on his luck. Maybe some coins you should chuck. The seal says, with a tin cup the door you must bang, to get your last meal before you hang. A disgusting fare this meal is though. Right through a window this filth must go. The seal says, strange symbol on snowy footprints is found. Show its likeness to the cobbler renowned. Paper and coal you must get from a store, and rub them promptly all over a door. The seal says, no time for this door yet. First a key you must get. Answers will be here soon. Pressing on is a boon. The seal says, visits to many places you must do. Firstly the blacksmith, and then the shops too. Then town hall and hospice might have a clue. Smith again, and mystic will have one too. The seal says, a key to the inn you now hold. Seek a trapdoor hidden and old. Get keys and open all the doors. Then take items from all the stores. The seal says, there's a large empty sack, and clothes all in a pack. Take all into the thing. Evidence it will bring. The seal says, 2 rusty keys sit on a wall. Find them next to a ladder tall. The seal says, a cabinet full of keys, but you can't simply take these. You should swap each for a blank. Hope they won't notice the prank. The seal says, secret entrance the statue may hide. Checking the inn answers may provide. The seal says, Many keys are now in store. Labels are not to ignore. A letter each one contains, all matching their building's names. The seal says, a secret button at the stables, even more buttons it enables. You must seek them at the end most dead, then remember what the mystic said. The seal says, seek a lady low on sight, provide answers she just might. At bric-a-brac she awaits, a massive clue she creates. The seal says, reach the burner but mystery's not solved. Clearly missing items must be involved. Go search through places visited before, and engage in kleptomania some more. The seal says, look at the list of places. Uncrossed ones still have crime traces. You should check them one by one, cross them all out to be done. The seal says, just go talk to him, you big dummy. Anxiety twisting your tummy? Not sure what I expected. The seal says, to ride a train across the machine, a map you need and a wire unclean. To a box attention you must draw, and with the wire fix the circuit flaw. The seal says, janitor sits stuck at the design, needs those pesky train tracks to align. A metal rail full of teeth you must make, seek the X on the map for the mistake. The seal says, what do you need this for, you ask? It is meant for a future task. The seal says, tongs at Tower 5 await, walk until the pillars grate, move your butt out of the way, check the floor without delay. The seal says, Tower 3 has a metal rail for you to seek, at the shadow of a bench you must go peek. The seal says, skull, tongs and a metal rail, combine them all without fail, hiding spot at fuel might be, and at Towers 5 and 3. The seal says, now with the train tracks all fine and good, return to the janitor you should. The seal says, in a circle you must ride the train, then visit the janitor again. The seal says, at Tower 4 for a pingo look, under a chain fence would be its nook. The seal says, at the parts room you must make your mark, a metal plate lies in a corner dark. The seal says, at 3 stations the spare parts await, a pin, a cable and a metal plate. Design parts in Tower 4 they are at, bring them to janitor and that's that. The seal says, this platform is your destination, once done with every other station. Step on here when the heart is repaired, for the final battle be prepared. The seal says, rooms of the horsemen you must reach, seek a scroll with a rhyming speech, fill the molds with some candle wax, their seals are what the statue lacks. The seal says, 7 door knockers are here, place them on the matching sneer, do look at the shield nearby, before things will go awry.
7 sins all in a row, final password they will show. On Ouija board it must rest, once the gold buttons are pressed.